in my world, we have to adapt to what happens in the moment. I am a social entrepreneur. My business is people. I help underserved people. I help them to get jobs. I help them to get homes. I help them to move their trauma into a place of healing, a healing called economic mobility, a healing called economic empowerment. Why is that important to us? In this business that we are in, every day we are faced with violence that takes the lives of our children. It steals a promise from us and it takes away the hope in our communities. It leaves scars that are long-term, and some of them just don't heal. In order for us to move ourselves out of this place where poverty is stealing something from us, we must begin to address the issue of impoverished communities. Violence is a symptom of poverty. Dr. King talked about it, Malcolm X talked about it. Historians have always told us that violence comes out of impoverished communities. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to solve it? Let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I was a banker for 31 years. I started in banking as a teller. I rose up the ranks. I was a large corporate lender. I was a director of community investments. I was a CRA officer for a bank. I loaned money. I gave away money. I helped bridge the gap between the bank and community members. I did a faith-based lending program and loaned over $20 million to faith-based institutions. I explained to underwriters, how do you loan money churches, right? I defined tithes and offering. I even spoke to some scriptures in the Bible in those write-ups. But I got it done. I got it done because I was that person. And then, my friend, something happened to me. My nephew's life was taken from me. In 2010, he was murdered. And as I sat in this hospital room, and I thought to myself, how does tomorrow happen for me? At that moment, I knew something was changing in my life. My reality and destiny had met, and my purpose was being birthed out of that pain. And so what did I do? I went back to work, continued to do all these great things that I was doing. I loved that job. I worked hard to be a large corporate lender. I mean, there wasn't even women there, less than women of color. You know, it took me a while to get there. But I needed to do something different. And so I left. I walked away. And they said, where are you going? To another bank? I said, no. I have to do something else. And I started this organization. And I started it as a way to help individuals move into their purpose. Not knowing that that would be the moment, a defining moment for me, where these individuals will help me to heal. So where are we today? Mothers for Justice and Equality started with a $5,000 seed grant. Today we're a $2.7 million organization. We employ 20 individuals. 60% of our revenue comes from fee-for-services. Why was that important for me to tell you? Because building sustainable movements, nonprofits, businesses, whatever you want to call it, is important for us as a community. It's very important for Interise to invest in these businesses and see them thrive. Their success is their success. It's very important for Mothers for Justice and Equality to invest in every single person that shows up at our door. And I tell my staff who's present with me today that we may be the last hope. We may be the last door that they open or knock on. And it's very important for us to get it right. So we built a model, and our model is built on two things: education and engagement. Education teaches the individual how to become self-sustainable, and the engagement part teaches them how to move into action in their community to advocate for themselves. in Boston, the Boston Globe put an article out, and they said within a 2.5 mile, the life expectancy of an individual changes by 23 years. In the Back Bay section of Boston, they live to be 90. In the Roxbury section of Boston, they live to be 69. All because of economics. All because of the stresses that lack of housing brings us, that the lack of a quality job brings us, that the lack of food brings us. All because of economics. All because of lack of knowledge on how we, as those that have been called to run nonprofit organizations, that we are responsible for building them sustainably. You know, I was in this conversation, this panel today, and they were talking, and it was CDFIs, and they were talking about when it becomes real. It becomes real when you have payroll. It becomes real when you have employees. Am I telling the truth, ladies and gentlemen? It becomes real when you have a responsibility to those that show up every single day. And that's part of economic empowerment. Being able to build businesses and nonprofits, whatever you want to call it, that you can provide them with retirement, that you can provide them with a good paying job, that you can provide them with health insurance, that you can provide them with all of those things. So I just came to stop by today, just to share with you a little bit about what Mothers for Justice and Equality is doing, a little bit about me, and a little bit about the importance of building a sustainable movement, business, whatever you're called to do it right. Because our community and those who we represent depend on it. So I thank you for this time.